Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to an episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and you know how much I love a Kickstarter. This one, it's been scheduled a while, I'm not going to lie. However, time has caught up. We only have 2 days to get involved in this one. So let's break no more time and bring on creator writer Tony James to tell us all about it. Tony, how's it going?
Good. Hi. Thanks for having me on your show.
You are more than welcome, sir. More than welcome. I apologize. 48 hours to go. You must be absolutely sort of like.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long campaign. So we really kind of coming down to the final time, but we are all over the goal, so that is also good.
That's a great call. I checked before we started the show, and you're over the initial target. You're in stretch goal territory now.
Yeah. Yes.
That's pretty good. How's that feel to get past that mark?
Good. I mean, considering the first book, we crossed the goal at the final hour. So
The 11th hour.
this time we had like a 3-day buffer, so that was much nicer.
Oh, well, okay, cool. The thing that, and we'll look at Kickstarter in a little while. The thing that impresses me the most when I say, because I see loads of Kickstarters, you know, if I've spoken to one Kickstarter artist and right, I've spoken to must have been a billion. All right, you're over 200 backers.
Mhm.
That's massive. That must be, I mean, that's huge. 204 backers, and if we're honest, you're asking for quite a chunk of cash.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the talent behind it, they do not come cheap. They work their butts off.
Yeah, cool. That's a good call. Quality costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just work this out. So you're currently sitting at $10,448 pledged of a $10,000 goal with 204 backers. Less than 48 hours to go at time of recording. Man, that's a massive achievement. Massive. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
For those that are trying to catch up late, shame on you. Where have you been for the last 28 days or so? I know I'm one of those as well. Don't hurl abuse at me. Break it down for us. What's the story behind?
Well, Star Noir is a 6-part murder mystery about a 1940s detective named Alan Miller, and he teams up with a gray alien named Ellis Tate, ET for short, and they team up to stop a shapeshifter who is killing LAPD officers in Central Station. Shapeshifter looks like one of our lead detective's colleagues, so it is. You get a little bit of that McCarthyism in there, constantly looking over your shoulder, not sure, who you can trust. And the grander story is telling us, telling us a story about a bunch of bad men in the 40s who have secrets that end up destroying them.
All right, okay. I suppose part of that will be the kind of the challenge between not trusting that which is familiar versus trusting that which is unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff that hides in between the lines.
Yeah. And we really kind of crafted the murder mystery in such a way where you kind of, as the reader, you feel like you're kind of over the shoulder of the detectives. So you're always you're examining the clues along with them. You're putting the pieces together so that your aha moments are their aha moments.
All right, okay, that's interesting. Now, I quite like the sound of that, to be honest. When you think about what that could mean for people, for sure. Let me just. What we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the trailer in 2 seconds because you're kind enough to let us have a look at that. Let me just bring that up. The wonders of modern technology. Where we at? Chrome tab. There we are. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. So here we have it. This is the trailer. We'll add this to the screen. No, we won't because I pressed the wrong button like a moron that I am. You can tell that it's midweek, right? I feel like the world is getting away from me a little bit. Right, there we go. Here we are. So we're going to add this to the stage. There we go. Here, right, excellent. So this is the trailer for Star Noir Book 2. Here we go.
Welcome back, readers. When we last left Los Angeles, Alan Miller, our ex-detective, had nightmares about strange beings. He was tasked with finding out who killed Detective Patrick Perkins, the man whose heart had been removed. With no leads, Miller had a run-in with a UFO, who informed him that a shapeshifter knocked off Perkins. The kicker? The monster also hides within Central Police Station, alongside Alan's fellow officers. Alan deemed his experience utterly bonkers, until he found the UFO he encountered yapping to the captain. The detective barged in to let the alien have it, but instead found Alice Tate, his new partner. The stage is set. The hard-nosed detective and the ego rookie set off to find their elusive killer. In our next chapter, the two traverse 1940s Los Angeles, meeting UFOs hiding in plain sight as their mystery gets stranger by the day. Meanwhile, the shapeshifter remains at large, hunting down the other detectives of Central Station. Book 2 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And hot diggity dog, get a load of our new rewards. Many of them are exclusive to this very Kickstarter. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
Defeat the communists. Got nothing to do with aliens then. Who did the voiceover?
That is me. I'm doing that.
I love the 40s spirit class.
Thank you.
Like, I can just imagine.
I do.
Hey, yeah.
I was very animated when I was recording those lines. So
I can imagine. What was it then? So you know when I looked at the stuff earlier today, I looked at the Kickstarter, and of course we just looked at the trailer. A couple of influences spring out, stuff that isn't actually readily brought to mind. I don't think. For me, I'm thinking stuff like The Invaders. Do you remember the old TV show?
I don't know that show.
You don't know that. Right. Okay. Stay there. Whilst we're talking, we'll have a look and see if I can find that. Invaders. Here it is. Right. We'll show that in a little bit. The other one is a little bit more modern. I saw X-Files in the clip there.
Mm-hmm.
But like human and alien work together, that screams Alien Nation to me.
I
love Alien Nation.
Yeah. That is not a movie or a TV show. It's a movie and a TV show, neither of which I've ever seen.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So it's really kind of the story is really influenced by a combination of 2 of my favorite things, which is old Hollywood movies, and then also alien abduction stories. The ones that kind of feel very believable and grounded and have kind of this almost like haunting ghost story aspect to them.
Hence the X-Files, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The truth is out there.
Yeah.
You used to love that. You used to the vein watching the X-Files, especially season 1. It was, people would come around my house and just chill and sit and watch the X-Files and stuff. But, do you think time's tarnished the idea of alien abductions? Has it become just a little bit too passe now?
I don't think it's come passe. I mean, the truth is still out there. There's still new abduction stories. So it's still a hot topic.
Cool. What was, 50s, 40s, 50s Hollywood. I have to tell you this. When I was a kid, I loved Star Wars. I still love Star Wars. But my dad was very much a case of, you can't like Star Wars, I like it like the classics. And I'm like, what? So we ended up watching things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Forbidden Planet, This Island Earth, always still a favourite, and of course The Day the Earth Stood Still and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So then, how is it you then kind of thought, well, I'll take one genre, which is the hey boy, then the Dick Tracy type element, and then take that, and then go like the completely opposite direction and decide to go sci-fi?
It really just started with just my interest, just loving old Hollywood cinema, loving aliens, and just being, just looking up information on both of those things, constantly. And I just thought, I had some detective story that I wanted to write. And then once I thought about, merging, old Hollywood with these alien abduction stories that I was so passionate about, It really just kind of clicked together. And then the challenge then for the story was, how do I bring in these alien elements into this noir setting and still keep like the noir 1940s vibe? Like, you don't want the sci-fi elements to really push the 1940 murder mystery out of the way.
Yeah, that must have been quite a balancing act, was it?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yep. Always trying to show the point of view from the characters who live in 1940s Los Angeles.
It's kind of like the Peggy Carter show from ABC a while ago. Peggy Carter is kind of like set in a time frame where women aren't getting the same representation they get now, and yet we have to believe that Peggy Carter, this super able woman who should be able to do anything she wants, is constrained by that society. You've now got this sci-fi element constrained by the 40s kind of paranoia element that's kicking in there. When you think paranoid 40s, I was going to say paranoid android there, but that's a radio thing, right? When you've got paranoid 40s, and then you've got kind of like the sci-fi B-movie element crashing into that. How did you manage to keep the key detective just kind of on point? Because for me, that must take a shed load of discipline from you. One slip and it's all ray guns and transport beams, right? But it's not. It's all about sideboards and pop guns, right?
Yeah. Well, I there was a show that they did on HBO. It was called The Outsider, and that was kind of a modern noir that had an alien component to it. And the way that they treated it like it was like just a regular serial killer. And when you had your confrontations with the aliens, it was just so matter of fact that it was kind of scary to watch. And so with our lead detective, it's just always just being focused on him and his story, and how he were to perceive these these aliens that appear to him.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you another question. So why make this? Because the idea sounds great. I'll say that now. Why go comic book? Because I mean, Netflix and channels like that love stuff like this. Why comic books?
I'm a really big fan of the medium. Going back to some like old Will Eisner stuff. I just loved how visual somebody like Will Eisner is, where you get so much emotion out of the characters just from the pictures themselves. And then the dialogue is just sort of complimentary on top of that. And when I was thinking about the story, I thought of just a vibrant, stylized comic book that was telling this really kind of spooky murder mystery, and just treating it, so as realistic as possible.
Cool, excellent. And then that's the key, isn't it? That's what the buy-in. We've got to buy the 40s scene, which we kind of know from movies and stuff like that. And then you have the other element in. We're kind of grounded by the detective.
Yes, and his fellow colleagues as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like Doctor Who. We're always grounded by the assistant, not the doctor, because the doctor does like crazy stuff, but the assistant's the ones who are going around. Yes, but doctor, why? Murder mystery. Big fan then, I take it. Who's your favorite crime writer? Let's get some deets.
Well, I mean, The Big Nowhere is one of my favorite novels.
Okay.
It's James Ellroy. That one really kind of, when I was like writing Star Noir, that one had a lot of jaw-dropping moments that I was like, oh, I want to do something that really captures that. And while this person is not a crime fiction writer, they are very good at mysteries. It's J.K. Rowling. I mean, like her. The way that she's able to put the pieces right under the reader's nose, so that when the twist happened, you don't feel like it's a cheat or it came out of left field. You actually want to go back and examine the clues you might have overlooked.
I have to tell you one. I'll tell you the truth about me and J.K. Rowling. I have seen one Harry Potter movie all the way through, and it was the last one. And the only reason I went was because there was a Batman trailer at the start of the movie. That's the only reason I went. And at the end of the movie, I said to my wife, who's seen them all with our kids, I said, "So what you're trying to tell me is, for 9 movies, it's all been about beep 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 beep." And she went, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, that's pants." And this little wizard in the little ones in the robes just turned around and went, "Expelliarmus." I was like, "Oh yeah, you got me, Gov. Don't shoot, man."
I will say that the books are way better than the movies. So
cool.
Yeah,
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot. I've not read them. I'm somewhere along the line. I've dropped off the whole. I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies. I don't watch Game of Thrones, and I haven't read or seen bar that one Harry Potter movie. That's it. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, because everyone's telling me that. And that's probably it, Tony. People tell me I should do this. I should do this, and the more people tell me to do stuff, the more I'm like, no. I still haven't seen Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that first Harry Potter book is a very quick read, so it's very easy to get through.
Yeah, but do I want to? That's the question. Do I want to? No, I'm happy with comic books.
That's totally fair. I also read a lot of Batman detective comics.
Really?
Yeah.
What, modern or back issues?
Both actually. I have the Long Halloween right here, the Dark Knight Returns here on my desk. I have Hush as well. I also was a big fan of Gotham Central that Ed Brubaker did a few years back. Well, not a few years back, it was a while ago, but that series was also great. I really loved how they focused on the the Gotham police, and Batman would just kind of be in the background somewhere.
Yeah. It's kind of like the original premise for the West Wing TV show was it was supposed to be about the staffers. He would just catch the president as he was going through. That changed warp speed as soon as got Martin Sheen. Talk to me about Long Halloween, because the Long Halloween is probably, for me, one of the best murder mystery bat stories out there. Hush, you've got to know your Batman to get Hush. Although there is a rumor going around about Hush, I'm not sure you're aware, but and they're both written by the same guy. It's just that's what I find ironic is just how mature the Long Halloween is versus how like bombastic Hush is. And they're written by the same bloke, aren't they? It's kind of like so some of that's got to be the art of Tim Sale versus Jim Lee.
Yeah, you just as a writer you write for the artist, so you kind of write in a way that matches the art style.
You have a return artist on Star Noir, right?
Yes, same art team, top to bottom as the first book. Yeah, they're the artist is Pablo Debonis. He is from Argentina. The colorist is Vinicius Townsend. He is from Brazil. He did some covers for G.I. Joe for IDW. And we have our letterer Marco Ventura, and he's from Italy.
I always say that the internet and the Wild Wild Web has helped create digital coloring, and that's probably been the biggest influence of the last 20, 25 years. But I'm absolutely wrong. The Tinternet has allowed creators from across the world to collaborate far more freely than it was back in the day when you had to send pages of script off to Italy for them to get sent over to Argentina and vice versa all the way around, right? Now it's just a simple, this is the password, send, off you go, right?
Yep.
So how do you guys meet then? Because I mean, is it just an online community or?
There is a Facebook group called Connecting Writers and Artists. And when I was, right.
Let me write this down.
And when I was looking for an artist for this book, I just, put out a short prompt about what the book is. And artists started, sending me their portfolios, and Pablo's was one of the art styles that really jumped out to me that I thought could fit a story like this. And once he started just drawing some concept art, we were really off to the races. And now we have this book here. Venetius, I found on Instagram. I had liked his stuff for a while. I just really liked all the pieces that he kept posting on Instagram. So I just messaged him on Instagram, and then I told him about the project. He was absolutely in love with Pablo's art, and so we just put them together.
Cool. It's great when that works, right?
Yeah.
For me, I think creative teams have to meld to tell the best version of their story trying to get over. I think if we both love comics, we've all seen some creative teams and we look at it and go, really? That guy or that person on that book? Really? I'm not telling you, I'm not going to say names. I am not going to say names. At least not. I'll tell you afterwards, don't worry.
All right.
Right, time for one of our ads for one of our other shows. I've got nothing that's pretty much 50s-esque, I'm afraid. I suppose we could do this one. This is kind of old school. Check it out.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
Wow.
There you go, the Old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, but the comics most certainly are. Next episode, which comes out next week, will be about comic books that feature real-life celebrities. I promise I don't pick these. The guys pick these. I just end up talking about them.
I guess the Keanu Reeves comic, that would be one of those, right?
Well, see, the trick with Old Timers, it has to be 25 years backwards. So it's kind of, so what we're on 23 now, so what's that, 97? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 97, 97, 98, something like that. So, yeah, so if it's not within that time frame, you ain't getting on the show.
Right.
So yeah, Will Eisner should be on there for sure. All right, let's have a look at some of your Kickstarter stuff. There, look at that. There's the cover. Check that out. Great cover.
That cover is inspired by the movie poster for the Maltese Falcon.
You know what? Now you said that, I can absolutely totally save that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. You went with a traditional grey style for an alien. Mm-hmm. Why for? Is that just for instant recognition?
It just fit this 1940s era where just nostalgia is just sort of running through the whole thing. So I just figured, why not have the typical gray alien? But we do flesh him out and give him some pretty cool alien powers that we get to see over the course of the story.
Cool. I was going to ask a question there about Grace. So, don't give me any spoilers, all right? Just sort of like rub your chin or whatever, all right? But does the book end with a crash landing of a UFO in a certain area of Mexico?
Oh, no, it doesn't end with it, but it is referenced.
Oh, hey, you can't have a grey in the 40s without talking about a certain area.
Yeah. It does get a nod in the story.
Well, okay, good. Oh, that's fine. Just checking. Let's see what we got. So, for $20, which is around £17 for everyone in the UK, you get your 46-page digital copy of book 2. Have to say, absolutely love the idea of digital copies. Personally, Tony, I like a comic in my hand, like everybody else.
I hear you.
I realised that if for Kickstarters, I don't mind chipping in on Kickstarters and pledging money. I do mind having to pay stupid amounts of money for postage to get it over here. So for me, as an international buyer, Kickstarters have to be a must, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Kickstarters, sorry, PDFs have to be a must.
Yeah, that was that's the physical book for the first book that we have.
Yeah, cool, excellent. 25 ships anywhere in the world. 52-page perfect pound book shipped in Gemini Mara, comes with a digital copy. Whoa, very nice. Books 1 and 2 digital for 40. 90 pages, like that. 45 gets you the pound books.
Mm-hmm. Both books.
Yeah, that's not a huge jump up, is it? Really for the twosome? No, going 40 to 45 is pretty decent.
We got to give people options, you know.
Yeah. I get it. I hear you. Who's this young lady?
This is Stella Belafonte. She is a character who is also right there on the cover next to Alan. You can tell by looking at her eyes that she might have a secret. And the book 2 explores what that secret is. And yeah, she's in this world a very famous club singer.
Okay. There you go. You get the Witch Woo, not all ages version of the cover. There you go, 65.
Well, this is not the cover. This is just a pinup, like a 6x9 pinup that we made. Yeah, it was inspired by 1940s pinup art.
Yeah, the Betty Pages of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay. $90 gets you the poster. Another 6 items including. Excellent. So you've kind of catered to. Oh, I like the black and white version as well. That's nice. So you've kind of catered to every type of collector you've got going on there. How difficult was it to kind of manage the idea that you've got to cater to people who like different covers, people who like different add-ons?
I mean, really, we were building off of the campaign for the first book, you know, in which we kind of realized just by learning, just by doing what people liked, and it seemed that we were offering a lot. The poster sections, we split that into 2 tiers this time because people were very excited about getting posters. And I thought it'd be interesting if we did like a black and white Maltese Falcon poster that for some people to get, and make that limited as well.
Okay. So I don't know. I quite like some cheesecake. I'm not gonna lie. I do like cheesecake. Let's have a look at some of the art we've got going on here. I love.
Yeah.
Go on.
This is a part of the opening scene in which one of Alan's colleagues goes to the house of a suspect and ends up running into the shapeshifter that we talked about in the plot, and things do not go so well for him during this encounter.
All right, okay. Oh dear. And there's
Stella Belafonte. Yeah, this is our introduction to this character. She's singing a fun song about murdering your husband.
Of course, why wouldn't you? You know, the swinging 40s.
And this is Alan and Ellis out on the streets. They're dealing with this private detective named Louis Simpson, and we kind of see how brutish Alan can really be when he needs to get some information.
So let me ask you a question about Ellis the Grey. We see him here as looking human. Is that everyone sees him as human, or everyone bar Alan sees him as human?
Yeah. Alan is the only one who can see Ellis's gray alien form. Everyone else sees somebody who looks more like Tom Holland.
Okay. Why Tom Holland?
It's one of the inspirations for the look of the character.
Okay. I'm an Andrew Garfield fan, so I don't know.
I hear you.
I tell you, what do I know? 2 out of the last 3 Spider-Men have been British, so I'm all right either way. So I'm all right with that. And there's your traditional UFO car getting hijacked.
Yeah. This is another alien encounter that Alan unfortunately has. He has quite a few of these in the story. He has one in the first book, and here we are seeing it again in the second book.
Watch out for the probes, Alan. The colors remind me of some of those. I know we've mentioned her already, a Betty Page, but Dynamite have like a Betty Page ongoing series or one mini series and stuff like that. The colors seem quite bright. Is that to kind of harken back to the idea that the 40s are a bygone age and the kind of not quite as polluted a world as we have now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the way we show off this world is just very intentionally glamorized. There are they're also to play up the the post-war Americana of this era. Every time you see an American flag, it looks very, very glorious. Behind the detectives to kind of play up that aspect.
Cool. Excellent. I just think it's a clever idea, and because you kind of you can buy into the. I'm going to say this word. I don't mean this as an insult. Please don't take it as an insult. We can buy into the Hawkham of the 40s. We've seen things like LA Confidential, for example, and that's a really great movie set in a time that's not our time. And then you throw the idea of aliens. It's like, what? When? How? It's just bonkers, But then, the kind of fish out of water element for Ellis, the buddy nature of Alan getting used to working with someone and who's not quite what he seems. And we talked about the trust issues, the McCarthyism, all those things. Kind of, it's a bit sad that those kind of McCarthyisms are becoming more and more prevalent now. You thought we would have learned and moved past that by now, right? It's been how many years now? And yet we still have a society that's still built on that kind of trust no one, don't trust the government type of thing. How do you feel that kind of mirrors within your book?
I mean, it's the McCarthyism things that we do in this book. It's really tethered to that era. There's not like a modern commentary on it. It's just there to further bring you into the 1940s setting.
All right. Okay. Cool. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah. No harm, no foul. It's cool. It's cool. Right. So I promised you this beforehand. All right. So whilst we've been talking, I've dug this out. This is the initial trailer for a TV show from the 60s called The Invaders. All right. You might want to check it out. It is brilliant. You'll love this. Let me just add it onto the screen. Here we go.
The Invaders, a Quinn Martin production, starring Roy Finnis as architect David Vincent.
Bear in mind, this is the 60s, so there's some game to it.
Invaders, alien beings from a dying planet. Their destination, the Earth. Their purpose, to make it their world. David Vincent has seen them. For him, it began one lost night on a lonely country road looking for a shortcut that he never found. It began with a closed, deserted diner and a man too long without sleep to continue his journey. It began with the landing of a craft from another galaxy. Now, David Vincent knows that the invaders are here, that they have taken human form. Somehow he must convince a disbelieving world that the nightmare has already begun.
The guest stars in the...
So
I love that.
So yeah, try and find it somewhere. There must be a stream for it, and it's so basically it's kind of like The Fugitive meets Aliens, right? So he goes around town, all these small hicks of towns to kind of like get the message across. And there's a couple of tells how you know they're an alien, and then he has to try to convince the town folk that, hey man, the mayor's an alien and all that sort of stuff. So honestly, check it out. It catches that whole kind of that 50s B movie, sci-fi movie thing spot on. So if sci-fi and B movies are your cup of tea, you probably love this show. Watch out. There's a remake by Scott Bakula of all that.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining. I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, good. See, I'm an educator. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we at? Whilst we've been talking, let's see. I think you've stayed at 204 whilst we've been talking. Let's just quick refresh. Still a huge. Oh, I think it's jumped. No, it's fine. No, it's still 204. Excellent. When we talk about stretch goals, what stretch goals can people expect for their hard-earned?
Well, the first one that we have is a 4x6 black and white inked panel of the alien abduction that you showed there, of the car being lifted off the ground, and it's signed by the artist of Star Noir, Pablo de Bonis. So once we hit that goal, that's like 13K. That is everybody who backed a physical tier. You're all going to get that along with your comics.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. And more to be announced, as it was. What's it like? Because obviously you seem really invested in this. This is your baby. I suppose this is one of my penultimate questions. It's all right now because you've got the art teams entrenched. You know what to expect. What was it like on book one where you kind of handed off the pages and you're like, guys, this is what I want to do? When the book, I always think writers are kind of like mini editors in their own head. So how was it waiting for those pages to come back?
Oh, I'm just constantly blown away by what the artists come up with. I think what works for this team is that my vision for what the book should be and their interpretation are very, very close.
Cool.
So I can't even think of a single time where where Pablo would draw a panel and I go, that doesn't really kind of capture what I was trying to go for. It's like he absolutely nails it. Like the kind of haunting aspects of all these alien encounters. He really does capture that.
Cool.
And also they're all able to take so much of my research that I do into this era, and just find ways to inject little details into every panel.
That must give you a great sense of confidence when it comes to plotting future issues, because you can sort of like build on those little nuances that kind of, that thing that happened in that corner of that panel on this page is going to pay off dividends later on down the book. And you can trust that the readers are going to see it and not know what the hell it is until it turns around and bites them in the ass, right?
Right. Yeah. And also what's great about this story is that the whole thing is written. So there's not like an outline for where we're going to go next. Like we have actual full scripts ready to go. So as soon as we're done with 2, we'll just jump right into 3. Cool.
Check you out. You're like, maybe I should give up my name and call you the Machine.
Yeah. We just want satisfying answers for the questions that we raise. So we worked it out.
Fair enough. I think that's a big thing. I think for a reader is if you're going to get invested into a series, you want the answers. And I know we mentioned X-Files earlier. I probably, hand on heart, as much as I love the Files, I will say they probably kept the viewer hanging on just a tad too many seasons instead of just dropping the hammer and let us know what's going on. I think it's just, it's hard to do. I mean, I love Babylon 5, but you get those episodes of Babylon 5 where the two characters just sit around and they're just exposition for like 40 minutes. And you're like, why are you telling me this? And of course, they haven't got the budget to do the space battles, so this is why we're doing it this way. You guys don't have to worry about that in comic books. You can show it all, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Excellent. Okay, Tony, give us your 60-second pitch on why people should be checking out and pledging to Star Noir.
If you like LA Noir or the X-Files, this is an excellent mashup. This is a 6-part murder mystery that is really gripping. The people who have read the first book describe it as immersive, that the time they read it, the time just flies by, and by the time that they're at the end, they're eager to have the next book. So we have an excellent art team made by a bunch of professionals who already work in the industry. So you're getting a high-quality book. This art team and myself, we are constantly upfront about what we're doing. and we're always updating about the status of the project and how far away we are.
Cool. And you're not far away at all because you've already hit the target. Well done.
Yeah.
So now basically you're pledging for the stretch goals.
Yes,
The Kickstarter link is there. You can see it on the page. Yes, I know it's a long link. No, there's nothing I can do about it. But you know how this works. Walk yourself over to Kickstarter, and in the search bar, type Star Noir, and guess what happens? You are teleported up to where you need to be. What more could you say? And of course, today social media being social media. Tony is on Twitter. Yes, I'm calling it Twitter. I'm not going to call it X, no matter what people say, unless, of course, Elon Musk decides to give me some sponsorship money. And then I'll say no because it's Twitter. So it's at T/J, and then on Insta you've got at Banana Bat.
Mm-hmm.
Why Banana Bat? I have no idea.
Batman fan. Batman fan. Banana Bat sounded funny, so.
All right, cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Excellent. Tony, it's been an absolute blast having you on the show. Your book looks great. I love the whole noir element of it. I love the kind of gumshoe stuff that goes on. One thing we didn't mention on the Kickstarter is there is a link to some free pages from book 1 on the Kickstarter page. So if you were thinking to yourself, shouldn't I? Go and check out the first 9 pages, and that'll tell you whether or not you should be pledging your cash. Mm-hmm. There you go. Tony, you've been an absolute star. Thank you so much. Congratulations on hitting your target, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
No, you are more than welcome. More than welcome. Don't forget to check out UCPM for all your favourite shows, including your sort of trailer for earlier, the Old Timers Comic Book Show. And if you like your DC books like Tony does, don't forget to check out the Definitive Crusade, where we'll sure talk about Batman. And for all you Marvel fans, this is a No Price podcast, where I'm sure there will be some strong opinions of the Marvels movie. For the record, I liked it. I thought it was great. Yeah, what can I say? I'm an old school Carol Danvers fan. So, hey ho. Tony, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, sir. And I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes. As always, adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.com, all about comic pop culture.